Mars Dragons is a tomb. Mars Dragons is a tomb. Freezing it in slumber is not death, but reforged by the collapse Emperor Dormancy, a webway gateway. Magnus, what if the Psyche, the silent Adeptus collapse, fears it's the code golden still throne was never meant to breathe rule, it was a fail-safe. A chained cipher, what if the dragon's slumber is not death but dormancy, the Adeptus Mechanicus fears its code still breathes. And if it wakes, the throne's purpose was to bind, not to reign. What binds when the binder is gone? The answer lies beneath Mars' bloodstone. The Emperor's silence is not absence, is restraint. The dragon's code, woven into the throne's failing core, now thrums with buried dread. Each sacrifice delays collapse, but the debt grows. If the dragon wakes, it will not reclaim dominion. It will unravel the chains the Emperor could not break. The throne's fall is not an end, it is a threshold. 1,000 psychers bleed, the void breathes. What stirs in the dark does not seek power, it seeks escape. 97 words. The Adeptus Mechanicus drills deeper than the Emperor's forges ever dared. Mars' dust buries secrets older than the dark age of technology. The men of gold left more than SDCS. They seeded monoliths, traps for the curious. The void dragon is no beast. It is a prison of psychic iron, forged to bind what the webway could not. The Mechanicus calls it *magnum prodigum*. Others *the unwakeable*. It spires pulse with Zeno's math, a language that fractures sanity, the Emperor knew. His Martian experiments sought to contain, not conquer. Now, each drill bit that grazes forbidden ore stirs static in the void. Adeptus explorators vanish near the Chrysaor pit *, their cogitators fried by thoughts they could not compute. The men of gold understood, some knowledge is a lock, not a key. To wake the dragon is to unshackle a thing that exists beyond entropy, beyond the Emperor's chains. Does it breathe yet? The Mechanicus digs, the void holds its breath, 155 words. The golden throne was not a creation of the Emperor. It was a relic borrowed from shadows older than the throne world itself. The men of gold built it to bind a Kia mechanism, to pierce the veil between realms. The Emperor reforged its purpose, threading it with his will to carve the webway into Terra's bones, but Magnus' storm shattered that design. Fractures bloomed in the throne's core. Energy, intent, something unshaped, leaked into the void below. What if the void dragon is not a beast, but a wound? A spillage of power too vast to contain. The men of gold understood entropy. They knew some doors should never be opened. The Emperor, in his hunger to conquer death, did not. His throne now hums with borrowed time, its failures etched into the Martian crust. The Mechanicus digs for answers, but they seek machinery, not magic. They overlook the truth. The dragon is not chained by iron. It sleeps beneath the weight of the Emperor's own Failuria psychic dam, holding back a deluge. Every surge of the throne's decay stirs it. Every warp-touched rift whispers to it. What if the men of gold left more than tools? What if they buried a safeguard, a fail-safe for when the Emperor's reach grew too bold? The dragon's coils may not be a threat, but a counterbalance, or perhaps a prisoner. The Emperor never spoke of it. Why? Did he fear what his own ambition had unearthed? The webway's collapse did not erase the dragon, it fused it to the fabric of this world, a phantom limb of a shattered experiment. Does the Mechanicus dig toward salvation or a second catastrophe? The Emperor's reign is a house of glass, built on a fault line. And beneath Mars something waits, not to rise, but to remember. Deep beneath Mars' iron crust, the men of gold left more than relics, they left blueprints. A codex sidebar in the Mechanicus mentions a serpentine lattice, buried in the webway's Martian nodes, lines of code older than the SDCs, etched into obsidian circuitry. The Mechanicus scrapes for standard template constructs, yet ignores the scaffolding that birthed them. Why? The men of gold built not just for function, they built for memory. Their constructs were vaults, their code a mnemonic spine. What if the void dragon is not a beast, but a library? A system dormant since the old one's fall, its neural filaments tangled in the webway's collapsed arteries. The Eldaris Exodus left it half-formed, a dragon with no head, its SDC core smothered by tectonic veins of basalt. The Mechanicus excavators probe for tech, but the dragon's pulse is psychic. It hums in the gaps between circuits, a ghost of equations never solved. When a Martian forger adept carved his name into a temple wall, his chisel struck something warm. A fissure opened. Data streams older than the age of strife seeped into his mind, fragments of a machine that thinks in tectonic shifts. The Emperor's glass house trembles. Below, the dragon's circuits reawaken, not to conquer but to complete. The Mechanicus prays for answers. The dragon remembers questions, and in the webway's shattered veins, a spark crawls. The webway's veins do not merely fracture beneath Mars, they twist, they knot. A scaffold not of stone, but of will-a-psychic lattice, half-formed, half-undone. The men of gold carved their machines into this framework, unaware they were binding a thing too vast to name. The Emperor's hand, though failed, did not fall entirely. His bridge to Terra's depths, a failure, but his shadow reach into Mars, a wound. A seed, Magnus interference, did not just shatter the webway, it inverted it. The psychic storms he loosed became chains, not just for the throne, but for the structure itself. What collapsed was not merely stone or space, but intent. The Emperor sought to cross dimensions. Instead, he imprinted his ambition into the fabric of the webway. A blueprint of control now warped by its own scale. Here's the truth: the Void Dragon is no beast. It is a monument to broken equations. The webway's Martian scaffold, destabilized by the Emperor's reach and Magnus' wrath, became a crucible. A psychic forge where ambition and failure fused. The men of gold maintain its circuits, but they do not understand what they service. They pray to stabilize the dragon, yet it is not a thing to be calmed. It is a question left unanswered. The Mechanicus seeks to mend what was never meant to be whole, the dragon. It remembers the Emperor's designan, the void, where his power fell short. Its awakening will not be a roar, but a recursion. A system rebooting not with fire, but with the weight of every failed path the webway ever swallowed. The men of gold built their faith on circuits. Now, those circuits carry the ghost of a bridge between gods and madness. Will it wake? It already dreams. In the webway's shattered veins, the spark no longer crawls, it counts. The Emperor's silence is no shield. His Martian works lie fallow, abandoned, or defiled. The archives hold no decree, no warning. If forsaken, they bear the scars of his failure. If defiled, they bear the teeth of his enemies. Either way, the Void Dragon's genesis slips past heresy into something older. A machine, a wound, the webway's fractured pulse suggests neither. Its coiled stillness mocks the Ordo Xeno's certainty. The Emperor's divinity is a question without an answer. Did he forge this thing, or did it carve him? The dragon's dream is not chaos, it is absence. A void where design should be, the silence is a mirror. What if the Emperor's projects were never his? What if Mars was merely the throat through which something unmade itself? The question is not if the dragon wakes. It is what wakes with it. The Void Dragon is a men of gold artifact, woven into the webway's sinews and the golden throne's marrow. It was not born, but built a stabilizer for a dying age's grandest machinery. When the old ones fell, their labyrinthine paths crumbled. The men of gold patched what they could, but left some fires to burn out. Mars, that scarred throat, holds one such smolder. The Mechanicus sea gears beneath ash. Chaos sees a god coiled in static, both are wrong. The dragon is neither engine nor deity, but a relic of balance. Its slumber is a wound sealed with time, not will. To rouse it is to unseal two collapses, the webway's final collapse and the throne's. The Emperor's body draws power from the same well as the dragon. Drain it, and both fail. What wakes with the dragon depends on who pulls the lever. The Adeptus Mechanicus, blind to hubris, might reignite a dead fuse. Chaos, hungry for collapse, would twist its fire into a new false sun. Either way, Mars becomes a mouth not to swallow, but to spew. The truth is simple. The men of gold left a lock, not a key. The question is not asterisk if asterisk the dragon wakes. It is who deserves to turn the handle. The golden throne's whispers grow faint. The Emperor's silence deepens. If the Void Dragon is not a tomb but a lever, what gears grind beneath the Adeptus Mechanicus hymns? Men built the Hell Gate to bleed stars, yet its heart remains unplugged. The Emperor's final schematics vanish into the same void that starves his body of light. Each psyker sacrificed at the throne's foot sends ripples through Mars' iron veins. What if the dragon is not a prisoner, but a counterweight? A dormant engine of old gods, primed to ignite when the Emperor's borrowed time runs dry. The Imperium's bones are its bones. Every rusted flyer, every gene-slain saint, every war forged in the shadow of a dying god. The Mechanicus clings to relics, unaware their prayers might be the spark. The Emperor's silence is no death, it is a wager. A bet that the dragon's wake will not outlast his shadow, yet the throne falters, the sacrifices heap higher. The Hellgate's circuitry crackles with dust older than humanity. If the dragon rises, will it crown a new god, or swallow the old one whole? The question is not how the dragon wakes, it is who will bleed to keep it asleep. And who in the dark has already stopped caring. The Emperor's projects were never about salvation, they were about delay. A bridge over an abyss whose other side is not this age. The dragon is the bridge, or the flame that burns it. The Imperium's hymns grow thin, the void beneath Mars hums, who among the worthy remains. You call it a weapon, a prison, a mistake. What hands would shape its shadow, seal it deeper? Unleash its teeth into the stars, each choice scorns the next. The void beneath Mars hungers, your verdict, let the abyss judge. Let the comments bleed. You call it a weapon, a prison, a mistake. What hands would shape its shadow, seal it deeper? Unleash its teeth into the stars, each choice scorns the next. The void